something that is frequently said in homesteading is, I hope this will work. And this is another example of that. This is Pig Ramp 2.0. I'm making some changes here, and in order to talk about why this is 2.0, here's the first version that I had. I did have those pieces of wood on here. And in order to talk about why I designed 1.0 that way, you need to understand my trailer. So that's my pig trailer in all its glory underneath this lean-to. It has about 13 feet of interior space, plenty for 6 pigs, which is what I typically raise at a time. I got this used, very much used. You can see the wonderful rust there in the corner and all of that, but the price was right, so it's mine. One downside of this trailer is that the cut gate on the back, the back door is 2 pieces. When it's in the appropriate configuration, that can just slide to the side, and that really is an ideal design for getting pigs in because you don't have to deal with the entire door swinging. Now, the metal at the top is bent. Someday I'm going to have to get a hold of some really strong equipment and bend that metal, but it's rather strong, and it's just not been on my list. And so I've made do with what I've had and had this door swing open. Now, kind of the ideal loading method is having the trailer in place for about a week with their food inside the trailer so they get used to eating in there, and then pulling the food about a day or so, maybe a little bit more than a day ahead of time, so that they're hungry, and then we'll toss in marshmallows and apples. Marshmallows because it's easy to see, they taste wonderful. The apples because it takes a while for them to chew, and so if it takes a little while for a few of them to climb up the ramp, then the others are still inside chewing, and then we can close the door. And so that has worked pretty well. But I've needed, especially because with my fencing, it's this flexible electric netting, that needs to funnel them right to where it is, but I need to be careful with the sides. And so the fence guides right into the door. I don't know where I was going with that. That was a little brain fart, but I never do any editing on my videos, so you're just going to have that. So flexible netting is going to be right here to the sides of the trailer. I've needed a ramp that they can go up, and I need it to stay in place for a week, which they cannot shove back and forth into the flexible netting. That's where my thought was. And so something that was really good with this original design is I put these blocks here. I can use T-posts to hold down the end here, and then I'll have a T-post on the front ends for left and right, and that will those 4 T-posts will hold the ramp in place for the week in which they're climbing up and down this. Now this version, in case you can't see by the wonderful patchwork of what I had, I just threw together with some scraps, and the boards were slippery, and so you had these big sheets, and I noticed with the feet of the pigs, they would often slip on it a little bit, and that would cause some hesitancy in the pigs wanting to go in. So that, combined with the fact that I thought it was a good idea to store this leaned up against here, all the runoff from the lean-to pours down on the ramp and the pallets that I had in that spot. So that's meant that I have some soggy spots, and some of these boards really aren't going to support the weight of a pig, much less me, when I'm standing on there. The pigs obviously have a lot more pressure because their feet are so pointed, and I really don't want to have a pig foot go through the ramp. Hence 2.0. So this is a little bit shorter. I think it's still going to be fine. I will carry over the idea of those notches for putting in some 2x4s. So I'm going to have that down at the end here. And then I've purposely had space in between the boards. Obviously, I still need to screw them down. But the space in there, I'm hoping, will give them a little bit more traction on their feet. And honestly, if that doesn't do the trick, if that doesn't give them enough traction and allow them to get up and down easily, then I probably will see if I can find some shingles and not have the shingles overhang the edge because I don't want them to eat the shingles, but really tightly put down the shingles on it so that they can get up and down it easily, and then head on off to freezer camp once we're all set and ready to go. So ramp design 2.0 based on 1.0 based upon my trailer. all the wonderful projects involved with homesteading. The exit for pigs is obviously the most important, and we'll see how this goes.